really highly confidential. Think about the bills for your mobile phones. This is my example for those scenarios. There used to be a time when I received monthly bills from my mobile service provider, and it contained a couple of personal information. My name, my address. There was a time when my phone number was on there. Because I had a detailed report, there were informations about the people that I have been calling during the last 4 weeks. Yeah? So these are all informations that I would prefer if they were encrypted. Not that it is a really big issue, but I would feel more comfortable. And we all have situations like that in our mind where we say, well, I would prefer if that was encrypted. Think about all of the things that you receive in an envelope rather than on a postcard. Yeah? We could easily create a system by which we could get rid of the envelopes, but we won't, because that would make the content of a letter readable to anybody along the way. We don't want it here, so we probably don't want it in our email infrastructure as well. So what we have done at GBS is we have implemented an additional service called WebCrypt, so web-based encryption technology. And what the Domino server can now do is there is a sender who is going to send an information with, let's stick with the example of a credit card number. I'm going to send that. It arrives on the Domino server, IQ Suite Wall picks up that credit card number and decides this email has to be encrypted. There is no PGP key, there is no SMIME key. So what IQ Suite WebCrypt will do is it will encrypt the message, will send out the login information to the, will send out the login information to the recipient, will then send the encrypted message to the recipient, and the recipient is able to log into the WebCrypt server and have the decrypted message displayed over a secure HTTPS connection. Sounds complex? Not really. So let's have a look how we can deal with that one. I'm going back into my notes client. I'm going to create a new message, and I have made the rules in my environment very, very simple. It is all based on the name of the recipient. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to send a message to Andy. Again, my client takes a second to display the form. So here we go. Andy Taylor is my WebCrypt user, and I'm going to say again, so that is group talk, and it is WebCrypt that we're going to use here. I'm writing hello just to make it slightly different, and I'm going to send out that message. Same story happens again. Delivered to the Domino server in IQ Suite picks up the message, outgoing message, signatures will be added, legal disclaimers will be added. Because there is no SMIME key, it will ask the WebCrypt server to encrypt the message. WebCrypt server will provide the certificate, will encrypt the message, and Andy can use the message later on to log on to the WebCrypt server. Andy is using Thunderbird, and Andy is already logged in here. I'm going to press Get Mail, and hopefully the message is already there for us. Downloading one message, perfect. So here the tagline is a little bit different. It says encrypted by IQ Suite WebCrypt. Let's have a look how it looks like. The subject line is gone, so even the subject line will be encrypted. It is replaced with, no, sorry, it is not. It could be. It is not. Of course, it says here group talk WebCrypt, which I've typed in. A message is added to the body of the email which could explain where the message comes from, where additional information could be found. It could refer to the procedure that you have introduced to your customers long before. It could have an explanation that users will find an attachment called secure HTML at the bottom, and if they double-click on the attachment, yes, that's the only thing that we need to tell our users. Double-click the attachment that I am going to send you. It is a solution which is made for a certain security level. It is not the highest level. We're never going to sell WebCrypt to your security agencies, your CIAs, FBIs, and whatnot. We will never do that. That will always be done by S9. Yeah, will probably not even be done by PGP. Okay, so this is the login page on the WebCrypt server. I have customized, or I have started to customize that a little bit. I'm going to type in Andy's mail address. That is used to identify him, and of course I need a password for this. I'm going to sign in. The content of the attachment will be transferred to the WebCrypt server. WebCrypt server knows Andy, knows the certificate, is able to decrypt the message, and is going to display the unencrypted message over a secure HTTPS connection. That will change in a split second here. Well, shouldn't say a split second. Probably more like a second or half a minute, as it looks like. Still sending data to the server. Okay, here we go. So now it is an HTTPS connection, and it shows that the message comes from the IQ Suite admin, goes to Andy Taylor. This is the subject. There are JPEGs attached to this message. Those were the pictures that we saw in the other message displayed in the body. And as you can see, it has basically the same content. Here it says hello, the other one said hi, has the same company information, and of course down here the legal disclaimer for this message. So what we can do with this is we can actually implement a way to encrypt all confidential information, and you decide what is confidential information. Is it credit card numbers? Is it social security numbers? Is it account information? Whatever. We can encrypt that and send it encrypted to our recipients. What we are currently working on is not only having a web service to do that, but we also want to implement encrypted PDF files. So thereby using a different technology, the effect will basically be the same. Whether I send it in an encrypted attachment and use a web service to decrypt it, or whether I'm going to send it in a PDF and have a password assigned to that PDF, from a technology point of view does not make a huge difference. But customers have been asking us for that, and we will implement technology like that, early next year most likely. There is one thing that we need to talk about when we look at WebCrypt. So let's quickly go back to the slide. I have covered it, touched it slightly in my first explanation. I told you that when I encrypt a message to Andy for the first time, the WebCrypt server will create the credentials and they will be sent to Andy. Now, here's the point. Question is, do I want to send the login information in an unencrypted email? Do I want to use other technologies for that? WebCrypt can deal with all of the possible technologies that you're going to use. I have implemented a couple of WebCrypt installations where we simply send the password unencrypted. because it should be it should offer more security than before, but there is no need to make it high security. Yeah? Think of my mobile phone number. If you, mobile phone bill, if you really want to read that information, you probably find a way to do that. And I'm not really worried about it. The advantage that you could gain is not high enough so that you would go through all of the efforts that are necessary. But what we can do is, if you provide a mobile phone number, I can send that password as a text message to your mobile phone, thereby using a different technology, making it harder. The other thing, of course, is we can simply create the password long before we are going to send the first email to you encrypted, and we can print it and send it to you the same way as your bank sent you the PIN code for your credit card number, for your credit cards. Yeah? We can use all of those technologies, so just let us know what you want to do, and we can implement that in a domino or an exchange environment because those technologies are there. Yeah? The only thing that I'm trying to explain to you is think about what is actually necessary in your environment. Same thing will happen, of course, for the PDF. Here we will have one-time passwords, and we're going to send them out using the same technologies here. All right, so those are the encryption technologies that we're going to use. What we have done now is we have created an environment where we can send emails to recipients with no encryption technologies, unencrypted, or on the right-hand side we're going to send encrypted emails either if our users have an encryption software or if they have no encryption software. That's fine. So far we have fulfilled all of the rules and regulations that are there in your company. Last thing I want to talk about is making life with S/MIME certificates a little bit easier. What we have so far is, let's go back into our nodes infrastructure again for a second and have a look at the certificate database. Here we are. This is the IQ Suite portal. This is the database that I'm going to open, and that will open up a lot of databases in the background, providing all of the modules and components of IQ Suite. And I'm going to show you the certificate database in which we store the S/MIME certificates. At least when we talk about, let's say, old school IQ Suite crypt. Has been a very good technologies over the years, is still fine in a lot of situations, but there is one thing where we are starting to have a couple of questions here. Those are the certificates, that will be displayed in a second in here, the certificates that we have on our Domino server. Here it is, the public certificate for Jamie May. I do not have any private certificates in my demo environment, but it would look basically the same. There would be an entry for the IQ Suite admin, and it would be an S/MIME certificate. Problem is that those S/MIME certificates, especially if they are official certificates, they will expire within a 1 or 2 year time frame. So let's say every 2 years you have to renew.